Hello Internet, this is BoneCarlos coming to you live from Metalopolis, MLG version, to bring you another StarCraft 2 kind of casting. So you guys using Skype or TeamSpeak? I am actually using Fraps, Coots, so, oh, he's actually talking to someone else. My bad, I apologize. And as I was saying, this is Metalopolis, and this is an MLG version, because there's a nifty little neutral supply depot right over here. And I am really stoked. We got a 3-day weekend. I got a 3-day weekend ahead of me, so that is always awesome for me. I am in a great mood. Plus, later on today, I'm going to be participating in casting a decently sized tournament over in Canada. I'm not going to drive over to Canada. I'm going to go ahead and do this wirelessly via the intranets. So I'm pretty excited and stoked on that as well. So that's just it for me. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the game. Let's go ahead and start off with introducing the players, spawning in, I would say, about the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock position as a purple Terran. We have Coots, and over here, right opposite it, cross map, spawning as, I would say, what color is that? The pink Zerg. It would be DrGrnThumblxg. So we're gonna go ahead and just call him Doctor from here on out. Let's go ahead and take a look at Coots. Is doing a very basic wall off, nothing too crazy. There is a refinery going down, so he's gonna go ahead and do the little tech upgrades as soon as we see him. We see Dr. Green-Thumb still pretty much doing what a Zerg does best, and that is save up a bunch of minerals to put down an early, well, early for all the other normal races expansion. Other than that, there's nothing too crazy going on. There is no extraction being put down yet, and no spawning pool quite yet. So let's go ahead and just, as always, take a look at the APM, see where these guys are at. This is about 2730, so it's about mid-tier kind of rankings. I know Coots, I believe Coots is a platinum level player, and Dr. Green is, I believe, a gold level player. So not going to be the highest caliber of play technically wise, but I kind of do enjoy watching lower league players play. Because they just do some weird, crazy, funky stuff, and it's always exciting to watch. And especially around gold and platinum. I know I am platinum level player myself, so you do see sort of just weird mistakes that kind of just make the game that much more interesting. As we can see, we have a little SCV just running around through the middle line, kind of pulling drones off. I personally myself just like to leave that little SCV or drone just kind of hanging around in my base. I don't like to chase them around with my mining probes, because it just wastes time. The only time I do follow a probe, an enemy worker around, if it is a probe, I just don't make sure there's no kind of sneaky little pylon putting down or anything like that. Roommates before teammates. Seems like there's a nice little chat going on as Coots just go ahead and does a very basic reactor on his barracks, but with a factory going down. I'm assuming this is just going to be a swap out, and he's going to be producing the Hellions. So very interesting. I hope he does go that route, because Hellion harass up against mostly biological Zerg early on is very, very good. As we can see, he's mining that gas, and once he hits 100, I'm assuming he's going to go for the metabolic boost on the Zerglings and make them into speedlings. Other than that, there's nothing much else going on. He is pumping out those queens, and the vomitage is going down, and he's actually using that second queen to spread that creep. So very good for him. He's actually moving this one right over here, so I'm not sure if he's going to use that one to spread creep while this one right here does the vomiting of larva, but either way, it's going to be pretty cool. I actually see him trying to take down that regular nasty little supply depot did nothing to you, Dr. Green. Why are you attacking it? Other than that, over here, checking out in Coots' base, we see actually, I was actually correct. There is double Hellion production on the way, and he's actually kind of misrallied. I was actually did my placement earlier, misrallied my my early warp prism and got it killed. Heyo, fantastic platinum level play by BoneCarlos. I actually see Coots going down with a fairly early expansion, about 6-minute mark, so it's fairly early. Both players feel mostly safe, and then with this aggression that he's doing, it's actually a very good play by Coots. He's going to go ahead and put pressure on his enemy, forcing him to use those larvae to build defenses and just Zerglings to be able to deal with this harassment while he safely expands behind that attack. Very, very solid play, and I actually love doing that myself with Warp Prism play when I'm not accidentally rallying them right over the opponent's base. But other than that, he's actually notices that he sees 1, 2, 3, 4 spine crawlers alongside with 3 queens as backup. Those Hellions aren't going to do anything at all. Very interesting placement with that evolution chamber. There is a little bit of a gap right here and here that he could swing by, but this isn't a Zergling ZVZ, so I'm not sure exactly why he did it. I mean, obviously that Hellion block was very intuitive, but I doubt he actually knew exactly what was going on, especially since I don't think he knows exactly what's going on. I mean, as so far Dr. Green is just attacking this one Hellion right here, and it goes down. A little bit of micro would have saved that one Hellion, Coots, so just work on that a little bit. And he's over here, he is doing the right thing by scanning down and keeping those creep tumors just at Dr. Green's own base. And just microing away the one that's being attacked is great. And I was saying, like I was saying before, Dr. Green had no idea those Hellions were going down, so that's very interesting placement of that evolution chamber. For Coots, we see he's just scanning, so he does have a good idea of where Dr. Green is. I would actually like for him to split these up, put one here and a one here, just to make sure that Dr. Green isn't safely, easily expanding. Other than that, he actually is pushing forward, poking forward, back and forth, just trying to see what, picking off anything he can. One more attack was going to take care of that little Zergling, and then another scan will kind of reveal this creep tumor and just kind of destroy it along with all that creep spread. And we actually see DrGrnThumb doing an interesting push, pushing forward with his creep colonies just to expand his vision and also being able to safely spread that creep. And as we can see, Dr. Green is actually taking his turn, so placing a couple of couple of Hellions here would have canceled that and negated that very effectively. And we actually see Coots with a couple of medevacs over here. He's rallying them here, rallying them there, rallying them here. So we're going to see a little drop, and hopefully we'll see a drop here with a simultaneous push forward of these Hellions. And we actually see a nice little, I would love to see a nice little pincher effect done by Coots. That would actually be very perfect. So far he's doing everything great. He's actually, except that, you know, pushing forward where into 4 spine crawlers is never really a good thing. But it was great that he pushed this Marine forward just to take care of any scouting overlords or any overlords that were in the area to scout this medevac drop. So very good play by Coots, especially for, I believe it was platinum level play, so very good. Doing everything right and by the book, very standard. While this layer is kind of done, and oh, we see a single spine crawler over here. He says, nah, you know what, I'm not going to drop him here. I'm going to drop him right over here, out of range of this spine crawler. We actually see him taking these medevacs are taking a lot of damage. Transfuses are underway. There is actually there is stim, but he is not stimming as of yet. Not sure why he hasn't stimmed. He actually loads up in this last final medevac. He takes him home, and he's just going to go ahead and go on home. I do not believe there was a stim. If there was, I missed it. By the rate of fire that those Marines and Marauders were shooting, I do not believe there was a stim. I actually wished in simultaneous drop he would have actually jumped forward and attacked this expansion, but he did not. Oh well, but he did do some significant amount of damage, especially while taking down that one queen. And in the units lost tab, we actually see 17 units lost for Zerg, for Dr. Green, and 700 resources, while only half that in resources for Coots. So he's going to go ahead and he knows he's applying pressure. He's going to go ahead and not safely expand, but just getting a little bit greedy and expanding a third time, keeping up with the Zerg in those bases. And we actually see him pushing forward with a nice little size force over here to join up with this Hellion attack. Hellion force right in front of DrGrnThumb's base. I don't even know if he has vision of that high ground. He has no idea that this expansion is done. And if you're going to be playing Zerg, you always want to be checking to see if he's expanding places that you don't expect him to be, because Zergs are very, very sneaky, and they will expand at will whenever and wherever you let them. Pushing forward, taking care of these creep tumors. Very nice play, and we actually see DrGrnThumb just making sure and shoring up defenses in case he actually decides to attack up there. So DrGrnThumb is actually quite safe, and he has a lot of Zerglings. He does have Balings on the field of play. He actually has a natural hatchery at his natural expansion to be able to produce that many more units, while another drop back here just safely pins back DrGrnThumb, and that medevac is going to go down. I wish he would have just swung around in a different path to be able to save it in for future engagements. But as of right now, this command center is fully completed. I just hope he just lifts it off, puts it right over here, and keeps it right there. We actually see Coots is pushing forward with that Marauder. an interesting push, I would say, but I actually see Zerglings pushing forward, and not much damage is done. Those Hellions do tons of damage against those mainly biological Zerglings. 13 Mutalisks are coming onto the field of play for DrGrnThumb. This is probably going to swing the favor in his way very, very quickly. I mean, Coots does have siege mode. It's researching, but that will not be able to do anything up against these Mutalisks. The Marines are doing a fair amount of damage up against the Mutalisks, but there are just too many on the field of play to be able to do anything about it. And we actually see, wow, actually DrGrnThumb actually pulls back enough. Marines were able to do enough damage to force a retreat. And we actually see Coots getting very, very bold, very, very brave, just planting down a missile turret right in front of DrGrnThumb's base. He is just doing a very, very nice contain, but still, I don't think he has any idea that that third expansion is up and running as of yet. Missile turret actually gets caught. And the siege tank might actually get caught if, right out of position. There is 2. Siege mode is done, but not when you're surrounded by Zerglings. That just shows how quickly these Zerglings can overpower especially if they are surrounded. We actually see a siege tank is right here, and siege mode is being deployed across all fields. So that's going to be a very interesting defense structure. While his third is just gonna get torn to shreds. There it goes. And where is that hair? Oh, it wasn't a normal command, so there is no hair dryer, as Day 9 loves to state. And that is very big. That is actually a very huge blow for Coots. He lost the initiative completely while holding that contain here, and he lost his third, so it is back to square one for himself. He is trying to re-expand, but as of right now, I'd actually like for him to get a couple more unit producing structures out. I mean, he has a couple of factories. Actually has 1 factory on a tech lab and 3 barracks on 2 bases. He actually, oh, there's that. Actually, there's that extra factory over here, and we actually see a reactor on this starport, so double medevacs would be on the way. Actually, DrGrnThumblxg has to go. They are more than likely just observing everything. Apparently, Coots was a penisaur. As we see, Dr. Green is just expanding heavily. I mean, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases, while his main isn't even completely mined out. So unless Coots does something huge as of right now, he could possibly lose this game, because you never want to leave a Zerg you never want to let a Zerg just expand this much. As of right now, Coots has no idea this happened. He has spotted this third, but he does not know about the 4th or 5th. And we actually see a Nidus attack coming in from DrGrnThumb right in his base. I don't think Coots doesn't see it yet. He will see it in a moment as these Zerglings stream forward. Once these Banelings get into the field of play, it's just going to be tons of damage that's going to happen. I mean, these Hellions are kind of pushing back these Zerglings quite safely, but once these Banelings come in, start rolling away, start taking into these buildings, it's just going to be all over for Coots. Once siege tank goes down, Hellions are doing their best to try to macro away from these Banelings, but it's not enough. The Marines are finally getting into the field of play, while Thor is on the field as well. But this is just too bad, so sad for Coots. A lot of units got destroyed, and I'm actually interested to see who came out the winner in that exchange. In the unit slots tab, we see 103 for Dr. Green, while 5,000 resources were lost on his part. So fairly actually, that was actually a good exchange for DrGrnThumb, since he was behind after that initial loss when he was being contained for quite some time. We actually see his, at the same time that Nidus one was happening, Mutalisks were attacking his natural expansion. They do push forward and get mowed down by these Marines using stim, and no micro is being used as of yet, because these are gold level players, gold and platinum level players, but no problem, no worries for both. We actually see an SCV just hanging out. SCV just hanging out willy-nilly here. Just like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and show you off my little crystals. While units are being produced, we see a siege tank going over here, taking down that changeling, while Coots builds a supply depot right here, so that Nidus swarm does not reappear. We see actually a couple of inactive drones here, more than likely a misclick, so because he wanted to build extractors here and here. And we see Coots actually retaking his third. So right now, both of these players are into the heavy macro mid-game, trying to pump out as many units as possible, while getting those upgrades for every possible unit that they have on the field. We actually see a nice sizable force for Coots pushing forward. We see in the units, we actually see 6 siege tanks with a single Thor as backup. That single Thor will be able to take down quite a bit of Mutalisks, especially with those Marines, with that Marine backup. We actually see Coots sieging up, bombarding these expansions from DrGrnThumb. We actually see this Thor pushing, taking out of the Moodless. So Banelings go in, take down a lot of units, but there is just too many Marines to be able to take down be able to take down by those couple of Banelings, and all those units get taken care of by this Thor. He has 5 kills, and alongside all those Marines that were in the fray as well. Coots just continuing to bombard from a distance. He's actually going to keep pushing forward, unsieging, pushing up, sieging up. I'll actually have to see him bunny hop his siege tanks while keeping 3 sieged, push up with 2, unsiege those 3, push up with those 3, and back and forth, and we see DrGrnThumb taking no longer the gold expansion, but a 4th expansion right over here. We actually see Coots just kind of setting up shop right over here, and actually have to see him siege up and keep pushing forward. These BoneCarlos are completely out of position. They're on bird. He stims up and starts shelling them and attacking them, and all 4 go down without so much as a attack going on. We actually see these siege tanks are actually quite a bit up, quite a bit behind. Actually, like them for siege, push forward, and siege up one more time to be able to commence this bombardment. But as of right now, DrGrnThumb has nothing on the field to play. He has 67 Zerglings and 4 Broodlords coming in, and 10 Banelings. But against this force, this is actually a very nice force to counteract Banelings and Speedlings. And we actually see Zerglings trying to push forward and flank the enemy, but there is no such luck. You cannot flank sieged up siege tanks. They just cause too much DPS. Right now there is 1 siege mode and 1 Thor left for both players. He's actually picking up this Thor, saying, you know what, forget it, these are going to be a little bit too much, I'm going to go home. I actually love the way Thors are picked up by these medevacs. They're just riding underneath, and these Zerglings are spotted. As soon as these get dropped, it's going to be very, very bad for Coots. Let's see if he has any kind of defenses back home. He actually does have 3 siege tanks with a bunch of Marines here to be able to hold them off. And as there comes the commencement of that bombardment, we actually see the Zerglings just get up close and personal on these siege tanks, and once they do, bye-bye siege tanks. Those Zerglings are just way too fast to be able to be taken down completely by those siege tanks, but the Marines were actually retreated back to the safety of their ramp to be able to completely wipe out that force. And right now in production, we actually see just Zerglings being produced, a couple of Vikings, while these Mutalisks are being attacked. These Broodlords are finally on the field of play, attacking the rear, but these Marines are OP. As we all know, Terrans have OP Marines, and they'll be able to take down anything. They could take down Broodlords backed up by carriers and Void Rays, while at the same time battle cruisers are shelling them off, but 2 Marines will be able to hold them off, no problem. GG. While this single Mutalist is kind of being ballsy and attacking by himself. He does have 1 attack, but that's okay. We actually see a single force of Coots taking this Zelnaga tower, so he knows that there is an expansion here. But you know what? Siege mode works, no problem. We actually see his actually DrGrn's main base is mined out, as is his naturals, and he doesn't have this 3rd anymore. So his only mining base is actually this 5th one right here, and we can actually see from the income tab it's fairly even. But once these mineral patches are used up, it's going to be bye-bye DrGrnThumbs, because we actually see from Coots, he actually has his 3rd is mining, and we actually see quite a bit of minerals here at his natural expansion, while his main was probably bunny hopped right over here, and it's actually moving on over to this expansion right over here. We actually see another Nidus Worm coming in for DrGrnThumb to attack Coots, but there is just nothing here. And this planet, this starport, oh wow, this starport was almost going to be destroyed, but as soon as these Zerglings get into the field of play, I'm pretty sure this is going to go down. The forces are actually coming back to be able to take this out. And this starport actually getting out of the red to be able to save this. So good job, Coots, on making sure that is. And he's just going to go ahead and bypass all these Zerglings, take out the Nidus before he actually attacks the Zerglings that are in his base. I mean, why worry about the units that are actually in your base? Take down the transport that is actually empty at the time. No worries, no problems. Actually, see Coots' main base is actually right here at this, I would say, 4th former gold. So this expansion, formerly known as the Gold Expansion, eat it, Prince, up yours, I don't care. We actually see DrGrnThumb finally got those extractors down on his 5th or 4th, but still hasn't put anything mining into it. You actually see the Zerglings rushing forward, taking down those OP mules one at a time. 4 mules. This orbital command actually better lift off. Not sure what Coots is doing as of over here. He's actually attacking forward with these Vikings, and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and attack my Vikings with my Vikings while I'll let one of my expansions go down. But then again, no big deal as of right now. So far we got, what do we got on production? More spine crawlers are going down. Another Nidus Worm is actually going into the field of play somewhere around this this area. We actually see a single Mutalisk being attacking Coots. That's going to be mopped up by these 3 Marines. And I should see another command center over here at his 4th, and this is actually where this Nidus network was, Nidus Worm was. But you know what, this Corruptor is on the field of play, is going to go ahead, slowly pummel this command center to death. We'll be back in about 5 minutes to see how that goes. We see a lot of drones just kind of hanging out, meandering about the map. While Coots just builds up a sizable force of himself. Let's go in the units. What do we have? We have a single Thor, 8 Vikings, 3 siege tanks, 4 Marauders, and 22 Marines. While Coots curses. Coots curses. I'm not sure what he's cursing about. He probably forgot something. Probably finally noticed that this orbital command was being attacked. A single volley of these Vikings brings down that pesky Corruptor. While Coots moves forward yet again with a nice sized forces of mixed units. Probably finally figured out that this expansion was right over here, while Broodlords are going to start attacking, but these 2 Vikings will be able to take down an infinite number of Broodlords, because Broodlords cannot shoot up. And Coots isn't really worried about that. There isn't really much else in his main base. He's actually trying to push forward and just take down any kind of mining bases that Dr. Green Thumb has. And as of right now, it is only that one. Oh man, this match is I mean, this match just took my breath away. I apologize for that. But I just see siege tanks sieging up. These drones say, I want no part of that. Never mind, I want part of it all. And go into a volley of siege tank fire. There's 20 kills on that one, 12 kills on that one, 5 on that one, and another 20 on that Thor. Yeah, good game. Dr. Green Thumb leads. There was really not much else he could have done. For both players, I know I am a platinum level player. I was formerly a diamond player, but for advice that I would give for Dr. Green Thumb is mostly just make sure you keep your workers busy. If you go into your options and make sure you mess around, tweak around with the options a bit in your notifications, it will actually give you a little click, a little button that you can click right over here that'll show you all your idle workers, and clicking on that and putting them to work is definitely what you want to be doing, because you definitely ran out of minerals, especially since there was a ton of drones that weren't mining, so that would have been helpful for you. For Coots, you did fairly well. You attacked, harassed, did everything here and there. I'll definitely need to go back and review it a lot more if I want to give you pointers. But other than that, everything was pretty good. That early micro was non-existent, so maybe work on that a little bit, Coots, and you could save a lot more units while causing a maximum amount of damage against your opponent. But that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If not, leave a comment down below on what I could do to make these more enjoyable for you, because these are for you. This is for your entertainment purposes. So yeah, leave comments down below. Let me know what I'm doing good, what I'm doing bad, and we'll go from there. Later, guys.